Hi everybody. Well, today I'm going to show you how by not following a certain gardening principle, element, rules, or whatever you call it has worked out for me recently. So I am not saying you should do it, but for some reason this works out. The design principle I am referring to is scale. So recently I watched a video by one of the channels, and I will link that in the description section for you. In the video, the designer mentioned that most home gardeners and inexperienced people have this really all wrong, because most people will make things smaller, like hardscape wise or whatever that has to do with gardening. The designer, he said, try to go bigger, try to go larger to get, the scale right. If you think that it should be a certain size, go bigger. But I do know most of us can't afford, like big fancy things. So a lot of us tend to go smaller, what we can afford, which is in my case. This is what I am referring to. So I have this fencing right here. It used to be in another area. A recent shot that I took during the snow day really solidified the fact that the fencing is not to scale, and you could probably see it in those images. Scale is important actually in my space here, is because we have a huge space here, at least in my opinion. We have big trees, big shop in the back of me there. Everything just seemed so grand over here. So if I were to add like a pergola, arbor, gazebo, any hardscape structures like that, they would have to be like massive in order for them to have an impact in this space here. But I don't have the budget. I have a small budget for gardening every year, so that's not going to be in my card. At least for now. I love to reuse, recycle, repurpose. So because of that, I did not want, of course, did not want to throw them away, and I didn't want to store them and not put them to good use. So I was trying a couple of pieces right here, and the fencing, as you can see, very small. It's probably like 3 feet. So they're very small, and as I mentioned, the scale is off. I mean, it's very small compared to like the bigger trees, the bigger landscape here, and the arborvitaes, of course, are a lot bigger than the fencing. But for some reason, it works over here, and it just made me so happy that I was able to put something, and knowing that the scale was off, knowing all that, but for some reason it just fits, and it just made me so joyful. Now I know this is not going to save lives. It's not like a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's just a design thing, just gardening thing. But the fact that it made me happy, that just, it just made my day, giving you that serotonin, endorphin, or whatever you want to say it. So the only thing that I could think of why it works here are these guys, the arborvitae, because they are columnar shapes and they have like a nice clean structure. Don't mind the top up there, but just having them here, it just makes it work. It just makes this fencing works over here. So here I have columnar shape here, columnar shape here. Even this one is columnar shape. Even the Stella Ruby Magnolia over there is columnar shape, except for these the rose the rose here and the rosemary, but pretty much the dominant plants are the columnar shaped plants. So I am so glad that I finally decided to do something with the front and put the fencing here instead. So I am just so happy to let you know that, you know, in this case, not following that design principle, it actually works out in my favor. I hope that you will get something out of this, and you could do that with your space as well. So if you want to purchase fencing like this, I got these, I believe, at Lowe's or Home Depot 2021 or 2020. Now, this is not a sales pitch. I'm not getting paid to say any of this. I just wanted to share something that actually worked for me. If you have a big space like me and you want something that would still work even though the scale might be wrong, and you have arborvitaes like I do here, or some kind of columnar shape plants, then I think this will work really well for you as well. And so let me talk to you about this fencing. It started off very easy. I thought it was going to be like 5 minutes to get all of these, or even less. And you can see in the video there, that's what I was doing. But I realized later that that wasn't the case, and I will show you close up what I mean. Before I do that, let me share something with you. So I thought by having it very close to the cement here, that it would be nice, like it's very nicely laid out. But the thing is, if you have some kind of cement structure like I do here in your driveway, just know that there might be some cement pieces down on the bottom there that could prevent you from pushing each one of these all the way down. So here's the situation. So I had to dig up some of the pieces like these. These pieces were stuck in there, way down there, and so that prevented me from pushing these pieces down. So that took a lot of work, and I had to use a shovel. I had to use my trowel to dig some of these spaces up. So that ended up taking so much longer. It took me like the next day to get it all done, and that was yesterday when I completed the task. So I had to dig up some soil, unfortunately. Now I did try to move these pieces maybe a foot or a foot and a half that way, and unfortunately I was running into the concrete pieces on the bottom too. So because of that, I decided to just it'll be better to just put them closer to where the end of the concrete is. I think it works out better. So here's what I was saying. When I was trying to push this, because as you can see, this right here, this, I don't know what you call this rung right here, they're all not lining up like I want them to. So, and the reason is because it could be like these are not perfect pieces. So when I try to push this up or in like this, because I like them, or the pieces to be more flush to the ground. But when I try to do that, the end piece would go up. So this is the best that I could do, and don't expect it to be perfect. So here's how you can make it easier for yourself. So you see this right here, these things that have to go down, you'll have to put, like, say this first, and then this will be the second to go. And then what you do is just push it in, line it up. So the next piece would be this piece. You just line it up and then just push it down and have these things sticking out go into the little hole there, and then the same thing. So that's how you can get it done more efficiently with each additional piece. Now, some of you may already know this. Unfortunately, I did not. I just made it harder for myself until I figured it out. And it's kind of leaning like back a little bit, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter as much once everything's grown out. And you know, these pieces were not expensive at the time I bought them, but I'm pretty sure they've gone up in prices, probably double. And you have to say this is genius. So I have a small space right here. It goes like up to here, and it will be constricting this space right here if I'm going to move something. So I had the bright idea to bring this in a little bit so it acts like a gate. Isn't that so cool? So if I'm walking this way, it's like a welcoming gate for me to enter. And it's not really impeding anything. Now, I could move it a little farther if in the future I think that it's going to be impeding something over here. And then I could just lay this like this, and voila, looks perfect. So if you have a small garden, like a backyard, a small backyard, like if you're living in like an apartment or a duplex or whatever, where you just have a small space, this will work out perfectly for you. It's just that when you have an open space like I do here, it just doesn't work as well. And even though I know that I am not following this principle, and I know that these pieces are small for sure, and they don't fit the scale because I have seen that in the front garden. As far as I can tell, putting them where the arborvitaes are, something that's columnar, something that is very structural and with clean lines, not like bushy plants, you know, like going here and there. It just works out so well. All I know is that things seem to be very harmoniously working together over here, and maybe they're not going to work out later when the arborvitaes are big. I have no idea, but all I can say for now that they are working out so nicely, these pieces. The fencing here just works out so nicely. Now, if it turns out that they don't work later, I know that I could maybe repurpose them in another space, because I use recycle, repurpose as much as I can here. So I know they're gonna find a home somewhere else. But right now, I think they just look so beautiful, and hopefully they will continue to look so well over here for a long, long time. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and helpful. And until the next video, take care and bye for now. Well, thank you again for watching the video. If you would like to support my channel, please subscribe and watch some of the other videos. The video links are up above for you. So with that, thank you so much in advance. Take care and bye for now.